welcome to the Instagram stories for Thursday, April 11th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. There's some Instagram insight that I want to share that I learned from a thread. I'm going to get into it, but first, here's the background. There's someone on Instagram whose name is Miguel Barbosa. His handle is @YeahFilms. He's a freelance editor and he has 5,500 followers. He doesn't have a huge audience, but he does have an audience. On Threads, Miguel started a conversation about reach. I'm going to tell you what he wrote in the thread, but first I want to share what he posted in a graphic. It's a post from his Instagram professional dashboard, and it shows the reach that he got on a post. It shows 1.1 million accounts reached on Instagram. Of those 1.1 million accounts that were reached, 216 of them were his followers, that's 15%, and over 1.1 million non-followers, which would be 50,000%, saw his post. Let's just talk about this for a quick second. What that means is, of his 5,500 followers, 216 saw the content, but 1.1 million people who did not follow him saw that content. Now you might be thinking, did any of that come from ads? It says 0.1% came from ads. So apparently there was a little bit, but not very much that it would make any difference. This gentleman, Miguel, posted in the thread with this graphic that I just explained to you. He said, quote, "My content was compelling enough to reach over 1 million people, yet only 3.9% of the people that deliberately opted into seeing my posts were reached. I think Instagram is broken," and he tagged Adam Mosseri. I will link to all of this so you can see it. This thread taught me something very important. A lot of times I say reach is down. I talk about other people who are complaining that reach is down. I have Adam Mosseri with his audio clips of what to do when your reach is down. But reach being down is actually potentially two different things. It could be, number one, that you're not reaching the followers that you have with the content that you've made. People have chosen to follow you, and yet they're not seeing the content that you worked hard on, but they want to. The second thing that reach could be down means is that the people who don't follow you would not see your content. Those are two very separate ideals. Some people want their followers to see their content, and that's more important than non-followers seeing their content. Some people want non-followers to see their content so that they can grow their audience. And some people, like me, want both, just so everyone, as many people as possible, can see your content. But those are all very separate things. Adam Mosseri replied to this thread, and he said, "That is a lot of unconnected engagement, my friend. I don't know about your followers. Maybe most weren't on the app that day, but I'd be psyched if I got that amount of non-follower reach on one of my posts." I'm going to say that I found that answer slightly demeaning, but here's why. If the content that you made was so good that Instagram shared it with 1 million people who didn't follow you, but yet couldn't show it to the 5,000 people who followed you, who chose to see your content by following you, something is fundamentally broken with this system. I have always explained that the algorithm works by showing the content that you made to a few people that follow you. If they like it, it shows it to more people who follow you. If they like it, it shows to more people and starts expanding to people who don't follow you. This creator's content did so well with the small amount of people that saw it, who followed him, that Instagram chose to show it to another 1.1 million people, and yet not the rest of his followers. As a way of reminder, Miguel has 5,500 followers on Instagram, and only 216 of his followers saw this piece of content. Now, I mentioned before that there are two kinds of people in a scenario like this. Number one wants their followers to see their content, and the second group wants non-followers to see their content. And of course, the third group wants both. In the case of that first group who wants to ensure that all the followers see their content, the best solution that I can offer, which by the way is not a perfect solution, is to share your content from feed or reels directly to stories. Many more people watch stories than go through feed and reels. So sharing to stories would be the best way to ensure that your followers see your content. I don't have a good solution for the other groups. I really wish I did. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, Adam Mosseri is going to address the issue of what to do when it feels like every time you post, you lose followers. So stick around. Oh, hey, welcome back. Here's Adam Mosseri talking about what it can feel like to lose followers every time you post, but how the data does not necessarily support that.
Quick myth-busting video. A lot of people think that if you post too much, people will unfollow you more. And that's actually not the case. And we just looked into this recently. Now, yes, it is true that sometimes when you post, people are reminded that they follow you and they might unfollow you because people are always curating their following list. That happens to me too. But over the long run, when we look at the data, we see that the more you post, the more your followers usually grow because more people discover you, more people share your content, there's more content to be discovered. Now, I don't want to pressure you to post many times a day or even every day. You should only post as much as you feel comfortable doing, but you should not be worried about posting too frequently, pushing your follower count. In fact, it'll do the opposite over time. See y'all soon. Peace.
He said a bunch of things there, but I do want to highlight the need to not feel pressure to post. I do think you should post consistently. I do think you should have a posting strategy that makes sense. I don't think you are necessarily going to grow your following just because you post more frequently. That may or may not have any impact. Is what you're posting funny? Does it have value? Is it educational? If not, then just posting more will probably not increase the number of followers that you get. And potentially, I think it could decrease the number of followers. Adam Mosseri mentioned that the Instagram team looked at data, but how much of that data is fake followers? If an account loses actual human followers, but makes it up with fake followers, maybe even adds more fake followers than the human followers that they lost, it would look like their account is growing. And that would not necessarily be a good metric to judge by. Overall, I'm feeling a little deluded with this whole process. Okay, lastly, let's share a review of the show. This review comes from Donna, and I am super appreciative when you guys leave reviews because it really encourages me to keep making the show. And plus, when people find my show, they know, oh, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about.
I am a little older and fairly new to Instagram. Since activating this skill on my Amazon Echo device, I have become well informed on Instagram trends. Daniel Hill gets to the point, short and sweet, which is great for when you're getting up in the morning and getting ready to start your day. Donna.
Thank you so much for the review, Donna. If you would like to leave a review, you can do that directly using the link in the show notes, or you can look for the Instagram stories wherever you get your podcasts. That's it for today's episode, but be sure to come back next time for more social media news, strategy, or other things I think you need to know.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks at Instagram and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently until Zuck returns my DMs and starts to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacies. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.